Right. And so Florida ended up holding on to win 2-1. That's their first ever Stanley Cup. Connor McDavid won the Conn Smythe Trophy as a playoff MVP. He's the 6th player to ever win it while being on the losing team in the finals.
Yeah, he
So,
didn't even show up.
yeah, he did not. Yeah. Well, no, he.
I mean, he showed
yeah.
up for the game, but he didn't show up for the trophy.
Yeah, no, didn't show up for the trophy. Matthew Tkachuk took the trophy into the ocean. There was a lot of fun video of that happening. The day
I sent you
after
guys one today that Luongo was eating pasta out of the top.
Yeah,
of the
I
bowl.
saw that they were shredding parm into it. It's a nice touch for a former Florida Panther who it's amazing what happens when you get a good owner in there who's willing to spend a little bit of money and spend it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing because this was a dog shit franchise that nobody was showing up for, and people were, like outside of Florida market, people were saying, "Oh, you should just relocate them or whatever." But when you actually put some attention into it, when you care, all of a sudden they're selling out and they're winning a fucking chip, man. So it just goes to show you if you can spend money correctly if you can. I do little. If you spend the money right and you actually spend the money, you can get a championship. You can get people to care no matter where it is. We're talking about ice hockey in fucking Florida. Okay. It's not a traditional hockey market, to say the least. And they were able to get a lot of attention there. And it ended up.
The docs are saying, fuck John Fisher.
The NHL draft happened. The Sharks get Macklin Celebrini officially. They traded up to the 11th and they get Sam Dickinson, defenseman, in the 11th spot overall. And from all accounts, this sounds like a guy who can be a top pair defenseman. He's got a wicked hard shot and he's not afraid to do the dirty work a little bit. It's a potential Brent Burnsian kind of player, like he has that in his range of outcomes. It's obviously asking a lot. Burnsy's a future Hall of Famer, but this is, he has a lot of skills to come around. And obviously we've talked glowingly about Macklin Celebrini for months now, just excited about the possibility of him coming. And now it's officially happening. The fun story I heard actually was he was scheduled to leave on Saturday, I think, but he wanted to get one more workout in, so the family ended up leaving on Sunday instead from Las Vegas.
Nice. Well, I also too, it's not on here, but I also too, the Sharks paid their way back in to get the 33rd pick for Igor Sharanov, which was a left winger that has a lot of potential too, coming out of Russia there. So
right, yeah. Every draft class, like almost all of them are gonna miss. Excuse me. Almost nobody makes becomes an established pro in hockey. Like it's just so hard. It's such a tough league to crack. But there's a potential. You could have 4, maybe 5 guys that are like, significant NHLers. Obviously, the top 2 guys in the draft, you expect them to be around for a decade or more. And but even like the second and the third round guys, the day 2 guys, there's a lot of talk that these guys could be, 5 or 10 year vets as well. And if you get 4 guys in a draft class that end up being like significant contributors, that's a win. That's a huge successful draft class. And every publication I read has given the Sharks an A or an A+ on their draft. They did a lot of and it's not just for Macklin Celebrini, it's finding the value. They talked about Sam Dickinson. They didn't think that he would be there at 11 for him. I mean, I made a joke
that's where I went down the rabbit hole of his scouting report.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hockey people had him top 6, top 7. Mm-hmm. And because of Anaheim messing up, and then Ottawa at 10 doing something crazy, that kind of put him at 11, where no one really thought he was going to be there at 11. And the Sharks actually had their choice of getting one of 2 of the defensemen that were left on the board.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I heard about his scouting report is they actually think Sam Dickinson is one of the best skaters, best skaters in the
class.
In the class right now.
Yeah.
And they're saying his speed to as a scorer, he's able to recover on defense, attack the rush, get down there. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see these young guys with the Barracuda, with the big, with the Sharks. I can't wait to see it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even if, look at it, like Macklin Celebrini, Sam Dickinson, William Smith, if Quentin Musty pans out too, and then you're throwing Eklund in the mix there. Now we're talking. Now we got, one or two Lions that are kind of sure down in some positions here. So future's bright. We'll see what hits and what doesn't hit here in the mix here. But I'm loving the future so far. And Sam, you were talking about possibly bringing your pops to a game next year. So want him to kind of get back into the feels of enjoying a sports team that's invested in its fans, let alone just being a Bay Area sports team. So
yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, I've gone to Sharks games my entire as long as they've been around, basically, and it's a great time. And like you said before, Sam, now's the time to get in. So
now's the time to jump on board. I mean, the only way up, the only way they can go now is up. Of course, you can have another year of growing pains because it's going to be a younger team. But to me, even their free agency looks like they're doing really well in free agency. They're adding quality veterans. They're not just like the wrong side of 30 veterans. We're like, in baseball and football, you hear about these veterans being added and it's clearly just be a presence contract. Mike Greer is bringing in guys that can still score, that can be a good pro for these young guys to kind of follow. So I see a really good mix of youth and quality veterans. You're not just throwing a contract to a veteran guy just to have a veteran. Like they're still capable of being really good. That
being said, Vince, who did the Sharks pick up here today?
All right. So they picked up forward Tyler Toffoli. That's a guy that had given Sharks fans a lot of nightmares when he was playing with the Kings. He was always scoring. He was a goal, and he's a 30 goal type of guy. He's a guy that can really shoot the puck. He scores. He's a scorer.
I'm actually shocked he went to us though. There was a lot of talk that he was going to go back to the Kings and kind of hang up the skates there. I
think the Sharks were able to overpay a little bit because they need to get up to the salary floor. So that's part of it. 4 years, $24 million.
What a parody.
I know, right?
We have a team that is going out there and getting talent and getting players, and they're not even spending enough to hit the floor, and they're trying.
Yeah.
Well, that's what baseball needs. That's the problem is there's no floor.
Yeah.
Right. They have a cap that doesn't.
Yeah, they don't even have.
What does it do?
They don't even have a real cap. It's just a luxury tax, really. They also signed center Alex Wenberg. He's going to be a bottom six center, I believe. 2 years and $10 million. I'm just looking on Sharks Instagram as well, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. I mean, they re-signed a couple of players. Justin Bailey was one of them. Luke Cunnin also re-signed. Other than that, it's just really everybody was hyped around the draft itself was the big part.